What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a lot to talk about. There is some major news flowing in around your Minnesota Vikings. We got some injury news that we're going to talk about on the front half of today's show. Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah had their press conferences before training camp, so I gave a listen to that, and they talked about some key players on the Vikings roster and where they stand in terms of them, rehabbing from their injuries. Then also, I do want to talk about Noah Fant, former tight end at Iowa, was actually teammates with TJ Hawkinson. He was just released by the Seattle Seahawks, so could he come in and be the Vikings tight end 3? Give you guys my thoughts there. And then Jihad Ward, Jordan Schultz tweeted out earlier on today that he is visiting with the Minnesota Vikings. So should the Vikes bring Hottie back? Give you guys more thoughts on that. Then also Josh Metellus. We'll close out the show talking about the drama around his contract. His girlfriend actually gave an interesting comment on a Vikings Instagram post. So we'll dive into all that on today's show. But before we do so, if you guys could, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Vikings football is finally back. Training camp getting underway today. And I want to be your go-to YouTube channel for all of the latest news, rumors, nuggets, everything you guys need to know around your favorite football team. Hey, today we're getting 2 videos out for you guys because there's just a lot to talk about. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, lock us in. And once you guys are subscribed to the channel, just give me a SKOL down below in the comments section where I can know where all the real ones are at. So let's start off with the injury news here. So Kevin O'Connell, he did confirm that they will be sending Gavin Bartholomew to PUP, but a little bit of a shocker here. Christian Darrisaw, Will Fries, and Rondo Moore will not be on PUP. Now, obviously, they can still add them before the first practice on Wednesday, but Kevin O'Connell today said they're not going to be added. So they will all be doing different things. They won't be fully ready to go. Like, we won't see Darrisaw ripping through every single drill like he is fully healthy. He'll probably be working off to the side a lot, but I think this is great news. Now, he did say Will Fries is fully ready to go. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell says Will Fries is cleared and ready to go, and he will ramp up, but he is expected to play week 1 versus Chicago Bears, so that's huge. Now, the biggest question mark is on the offensive line for that game versus Chicago is, will Christian Darrisaw be there? I'm going to assume no, and I think the Vikings will proceed on the side of caution instead of rushing him back because, again, this is a 17-game season, hopefully a 20-game season for the Minnesota Vikings. You don't want to just kind of push all your chips to the center and treat week 1 versus the Bears. Yes, a very big game. Monday Night Football, division rival. This could have a lot of impact, especially towards the end of the season in terms of, making a wild card, winning the division. You truly never know. But do you want to rush Darrisaw back for that one? I'm going to still lean that he doesn't play. And, I think if you tie this back to free agency, the Vikings signing Justin SKOL to – it's obviously not a huge deal, but he gave him enough money where he is one of the higher paid swing tackles in the National Football League. Maybe that was some Christian Darrisaw insurance, where if he can't go the first couple of weeks, you just plug in Justin SKOL. You still got Donovan Jackson, Ryan Kelly, and now with Will Fries ready to roll, and still have Brian O'Neill at the right tackle spot. Even if Darrisaw is not there, still got some faith in that offensive line going into Chicago and having a dominant performance week 1. So I think that's great news. Darrisaw, Will Fries, both trending in the right direction. And then also keep your eyes out for Rondo Moore. Apparently he'll be ready to roll. Now, obviously with that Jordan Addison suspension looming, I'm assuming it's going to be 1 to 3 games. Maybe they give him 3 and Addison appeals it down to 2. But when he does have to miss time, Rondo Moore should play a key part. And watch out for Rondo in the running game as well this season. I could see Kevin O'Connell getting creative, line him up in the backfield. Maybe he's running like a Texas route, or, you could get very creative with a player like that. So 3 key players on the offense are all, trending in the right direction, which is good news. But Gavin Bartholomew did go on PUP. 6th-round pick for the Vikings. Which obviously not good, working his way back from a lower back injury. So we're going to connect that back into Noah Fant. So Noah Fant was released by the Seattle Seahawks. A bit of a shocking move, I will say. I did not have that on my, NFL offseason bingo card. But after they did, place Gavin Bartholomew on PUP, maybe you could reunite Noah Fant and TJ Hawkinson. Obviously, they had probably the best tight end duo we have seen on the college football field over the last 10 seasons. I mean, they were dominant at Iowa. And you got TJ, prototypical pass-catching tight end. You got Josh Oliver, a typical run-blocking tight end. What a great third tight end Noah Fant would be. And he was actually still pretty productive for Seattle this past season. 62 targets, had 48 receptions, going for 500 yards, had 1 touchdown. Now, his PFF grade was only a 66 overall, but still, that solid there, but he is a threat in the passing game. This is not a guy who's going to be an inline blocker at a high level. You can split him out wide. Maybe he could be used in the red zone, but just having depth at that tight end position I think could be huge, because I'm assuming the Vikings are going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets this year just because they love the combination they have of Oliver and Hockenson. But if one of those guys has to miss time, specifically TJ, if you just throw Noah Fant in there, yes, you will see a fall off, but it wouldn't be as extreme as going from like TJ Hockenson to like 6th-round pick Gavin Bartholomew, who's coming off a back injury. So I would have some interest in Noah Fant, but again, is it only be like a 1-year prove-it deal for like $1 or $2 million? It wouldn't, break the bank, by any means. Giving him, a massive contract. But I'll ask you guys, would you sign Noah Fant? Give me an S for sign. Give me a P for pass down below in the comment section. I think it's an interesting, discussion for us Vikings fans. I would probably do it, but again, cheap 1-year deal. Come in, be the tight end 3. That's really all I have to say on Fant. But let's shift it over to, I would say, a fan favorite. Jihad Ward, hottie. Apparently he's visiting with the Vikings now. So I saw that this morning, and then I went back to go find the original tweet that Jordan Schultz had. He deleted it. So I don't know if Schultz got some bad reporting on Jihad Ward, and maybe he just kind of jumped the gun on that, then he walked it back, or maybe he got the team wrong, or I don't know what it could be, but I thought it was interesting that he deleted it. But, man, if you remember Jihad Ward, he stepped in for the Vikings last year, and again, in very limited action. I actually thought he was pretty productive. Now, I thought he was at his best when you line him up over like a center guard combination, and it's a 3rd and long, and you just say, hey, hottie, go get the quarterback. Like we saw him have that 1 sack this past season, which was just a nasty move. He put on the offensive lineman, but he also had a PBU. He had 14 quarterback hits last year, which is pretty damn impressive. And his PFF grades, again, nothing to write home about, but he was solid. He was a true pass rusher in this defense, which is also nice when you have those guys in Flores' system. Like, maybe you can only do 1 or 2 things very, very well, but Flores will make you do those 1 or 2 things. Like, a great example of that is Ivan Pace. Like, he's great in the run defense. He's great as a blitzing linebacker. Now, yes, he struggles a lot in coverage, but Flores doesn't ask him to cover a whole lot. So I think Jihad Ward, again, bring him back, add some more depth, but I don't know if it's going to happen because Schultz deleted that tweet, but I would bring him back. I mean, his PFF grade's 51.5 overall, 58.7 in the pass rush. Now, he did have a 39.7 in the run defense grade, but again, this is a guy, even if the Vikes bring him back, he's not going to be playing too many early downs. So I would do it, but I don't know how likely it is with Schultz deleting this tweet. Now, let's kick it to the Josh Metellus part here. So obviously, Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi were going to be asked about it. And Kwesi said he has had great dialogue with the agent of Josh Metellus. Obviously, we know Metellus' contract voids after the 2025 season, and Metellus did sit out of a couple of spring practices, and he asked if Metellus would participate fully in training camp, and Adofo said in part, from what we understand, he will. So I don't know if Metellus is this going to be a hold-out, hold-in type of situation, but after a Vikings account, they aggregated this, saying that, great dialogue so far. His wife responded, and she commented with a laughing emoji. So maybe this was kind of just GM talk from Kwesi, and, contract talks aren't going too great. But I'm sure Metellus was looking at, all the moves the Vikings have made, and we're like, all right, you let Cam Bynum walk, and he got $14-15 million a year. Well, that's what I want. Are you guys going to pay me that, or am I just going to go be a free agent after this season? Now, I don't know if Metellus is in any spot to, hold out, because let's just say he holds out, misses his whole year. Who's going to sign him next offseason? I almost think Metellus might be in a tough spot with this contract talk, but if I were the Vikings, maybe you just give Metellus like a 2 for 22, where you get him a bigger bump this year, you have 2 years after that, you can lower the cap hit, you can manipulate it, you can add void years, whatever it may be, but it's an interesting piece with Metellus because is he so dominant because he is so versatile, and that's what players in the Brian Flores system are asked to do, like Metellus. I remember that one graphic that showed on Fox, like he played every single position on defense for a season for the Vikings. So obviously he's a key part and a key cog of the system, but if he goes somewhere else, will he be as impactful? I'm sure that's part of the leverage the Vikings are using in these contract negotiations with him, but I just hope this doesn't get ugly. I can't really see Metellus being that guy that makes this ugly where he is holding out and he's sending off cryptic tweets and all that, but I'm sure him and his wife were kicking back just scrolling Twitter and saw somebody aggregate what Kwesi said, and they're kind of laughing about it because maybe they aren't going too well, and maybe he wants to, I don't know. I really don't know what's going on in this situation, but, we'll wait and see on Metellus, but I'm expecting him to be out there. He's going to play a huge role for this defense. He's obviously got to be one of those veterans for, those younger cats like Theo Jackson, who's expecting a, increase in his workload this season. But a lot going on with the Vikings, man. But overall, very, very good news today. I think Christian Darrisaw, Will Fries not being on PUP was fantastic stuff. And the fact that Willie Fries, coming off that broken leg, that he's ready to roll for training camp, I think that's fantastic stuff. So, again, please hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep you guys posted with everything you need to know around your Minnesota Vikings. Please, please, please subscribe today. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes.